Hi, my name is Sarah Donovan, and I proudly accept the Democratic nomination for President of the United States. In a time of a global crisis, your vote matters, your voice matters, and most importantly, your life matters. That is why I can promise you that even though I am running as a Democrat, I will be a president for all Americans, not just the people who voted for me. Under the leadership of the current president, over 220,000 Americans have died of a virus that he has failed to contain. We cannot criticize the state governments for its failure to contain the spread. Instead, we must look at the highest person in charge. We must look at the President of the United States, who has repeatedly downplayed the severity of this virus, even though he knew the threat of this virus all along. And we must look at the president who has failed to fulfill his most basic duties, to protect all Americans. He has been reckless, he has been irresponsible, and he has proven that he is unfit for the job. But as president, I will listen to the scientists. I will trust the doctors. And most of all, I will contain this virus by reinstating the National Pandemic Board that he disbanded. I will guarantee reliable and free testing for all Americans, not just the wealthy and not just the elite. I will build a national contact tracing workforce, creating 100,000 jobs in the process, but while also actively trying to reduce the risk of transmission of this airborne virus. But most of all, I will create a national plan to reopen safely, and I will be the leader that we desperately need and that we desperately deserve. I will guarantee paid sick leave to all workers who are infected with COVID-19. I will guarantee paid leave for all workers who need to take care of their loved ones infected with COVID-19. I will create a national mask mandate, and I will wear a mask. And I will follow social distance protocols because I know that America needs a role model. And I know that America needs faith in knowing that the president is not above this virus. And that we need a president that understands that wishing it away is not enough. And that a miracle is not going to happen. And I will listen to the scientists. And I will not politicize a vaccine, because in order for us to get past this moment of crisis, we must work together and we must trust each other again. I would help small businesses reopen, and I would equip them with a restart package that provides owners the funds they need to retain and to rehire workers, because America cannot build back better if millions of Americans are out of a job. I will equip schools and child care programs with the cleaning supplies they need, and I will provide them the funds they need to reopen safely, because I know America cannot build back better if the children do not get the education they desperately need and they deserve. During this crisis, the president has not stopped his assault on the Affordable Care Act. During this health crisis, the president has not stopped his assault on stripping away health care from 20 million Americans. During this health crisis, the President of the United States has not stopped his assault on stripping away health care from 100 million Americans with pre-existing conditions like diabetes or asthma or cancer, or even COVID-19, the very virus he has failed to contain. But I will protect my fellow Americans by guaranteeing them a right to good quality health care. I will expand the Affordable Care Act, and I will protect the millions of Americans with pre-existing conditions to make sure they have affordable health care. And I will do this because I know that in order to make America great, we must ensure a high quality of life for all Americans. But I also know that this high quality of life cannot stop with healthcare. This high quality of life must also include equality for all. And that is why I support the Black Lives Matter movement. I will never be able to understand what the discrimination and the inequality you have faced. So I know that I need to listen to your protests. I need to listen to your voices. And I need your votes. And I have listened to your voices, because I understand your discontent for the justice system that was built inherently against you. I understand that the policing system in America needs to be reformed. That is why I will provide police departments with psychiatrists and social workers and substance abuse counseling, because they need to get rid of that burden of dealing with job responsibilities that aren't in the job description. And that is why I will end mass incarceration. That is why I will decriminalize marijuana. And that is why I will end cash bail. And that is why I will end private prisons. Because these very things go against Americans' values of freedom and equality. I've also listened to you condemn the violence and the looters and the riots going on in American cities. And I do the same. I do not support violence of any kind. And we need a president that will do the same. Because right now, we don't have one. We have a president that has called white supremacists chanting racial slurs fine people. That is why, but instead we have a president that has told a militia group, a domestic terrorist group, to stand back and to stand by. But I will tell them to stand down, just like I will tell these looters and these rioters, because because violence does not enact change. But I, as president, will enact change, because I will pass measures that will reduce violent crime, not fuel it. That is why I will pass measures that will secure liberty and justice for all Americans. The rise in inequality among economic classes is being exacerbated by this coronavirus. The rise of economic inequality is exacerbated by this President of the United States, because he believes that the economy is strong if the stock market numbers are high. But he is gravely mistaken, because the success of the American economy is in the quality of life every American has. And that is why I will not raise taxes on anybody making under $400,000 a year. That is why I will make America the global leader she once was. I will invest in innovations, and I will invest in technology, because I know that in order for it to build back better and to make America its global leader, we must look at the issue. We must look into the future and not cling in the past. That is why I will create legislation that will help reduce the effects of climate change. And that is why I will create jobs to make sure every worker has a fair share and that every corporation pays its fair share in taxes. I proudly accept this nomination for president, And that because I understand that the first words of the Constitution is not I, the individual, but is we, the people, in order to form a more perfect union. That in order to form a more perfect union, I must listen to my fellow Americans. That in order to form a more perfect union, I must focus on your needs and not mine. That in order to be a more perfect union, I will be the president for all Americans, not just the Americans who agree with me. And I understand that democracy works when opponents work together, not against each other. We, the people, can and will form a more perfect union. Thank you.